They're your sack leaders since 2012. Oh, and two of them are now teammates with the Arizona Cardinals. Chandler Jones, 97, J.J. Watt, 95.5. We are drafting the best current pass rush tandems in honor of the Watt signing by Arizona. And, Chris, the one thing I learned as I scoured through the depth charts and the rosters preparing a list of potential tandems to select, there's a lot of pass rushers
that are free agents. I know.
Yes.
It's not making this easy.
And so we're not including them. We're free agents. Who knows where they're going to land? So they're not part of this, which makes it harder to do. All right, you got the trivia question.
Oh, that's right.
Lay it on me.
All right, sorry. Hold on. Let me open up my phone and read this. Here we go. Live TV. Here we go. Okay.
Can't remember what it was. They told you.
I got to do, but I just want to make sure. Four Vikings, your team, okay, have led the league in sacks. How many can you name? There's four. How many can you name? We already talked about one today during
Jared Allen.
Right.
Jared Allen,
Yep.
no-brainer.
Okay.
Jared Allen. Thank you.
You should get three.
Chris Dolman.
Yes.
Chris Dolman.
Right. Come on.
Keith Millard.
Come on.
He didn't lead the league?
Nope.
John Randall.
Yes, John Randall. Yep. All right, we'll give you. There's one more.
Who was the fourth one?
Doug Martin.
Carl Eller. Doug Martin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doug
Wow.
Martin, 1982,
Oh,
the first year sacks were recorded.
They didn't have sacks during the days of the Purple People Eaters.
So,
although between Eller and Marshall and Page,
I'm
they
sure.
may have diluted each other as they crushed the quarterback. All right, I got 3 out of 4. I get the first
job.
pick.
Good
And
job.
let's see here. I got to go back to my cheat sheet. I will go with, and this can be any tandem, I guess I'll go Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn, Chicago Bears. Neither of them is going to be free agents this year. So and Khalil Mack could be traded in theory to the Seahawks, but for now, he's still a Bear. Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, with a heavy skewing toward Khalil Mack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Robert Quinn was one of the more, one of the bigger disappointments in all of football last year. I mean, they threw out a lot of money, let Leonard Floyd go to the Rams, who had an unbelievable year, and they didn't quite get the investment return with Robert Quinn. So a good one by you. Mack is still a phenomenal football player, to your point. All right. I mean, I'm going to go with the Steelers, all right, because they got 3 guys. So T.J. Watt, and you can put Tuitt or Hayward there, whatever one you want. I mean, Tuitt got more sacks last year with his 11, so let's just say him for now. I don't think he's as good as a player as Cam Hayward at this point of his career, but I'll go with those two. They give a little leeway. It's really a trio in Pittsburgh, which is pretty unbelievable. But, yeah, I'll pick the Steelers to start it off.
They got so many guys that you could put on a list of tandems. I mean, Bud Dupree, example of a guy that we're not going to include in this because he's due to be a free agent. It would have been Watt and Dupree, but you can pivot to others. And I think we've done this before where we've had multiple selections from the Steelers with different guys involved in it. All right, if we're going to start mixing and matching defensive ends and defensive tackles, I'll go Frank Clark and Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. I'm with you. I had them written down. I mean, we with the free agent status like you talked about, I think we're going to have to pick some defensive tackles in these guys, right? And Chris Jones, to what you're saying, and first off, I agree. I mean, you look at a lot of passing situations, they will move him out to defensive end, and, he'll stunt inside or maybe just pass rush from there and do that type of stuff. So, I got no issue with you taking that pick right there. All right. I got to go to the football team. I don't care what the stats look like this year. First off, I just Chase Young with anybody, all right? I mean, literally, you could put you over there, and I think they're in the discussion for, like, one of the best pass rushing tandems. But, him with Montez Sweat, I believe Kerrigan is a free agent, right? I'm trying to remember here. I got 90 million names in my head. But, yeah, I'll go with him and Montez Sweat. But a little like we just talked about the Steelers, you could go Daron Payne or Jonathan Allen or any of them, but to me, that's got a chance to be a very, very special, a little bit more maybe of a projection pick for coming up this year. Montez Sweat is a freak of nature like Chase Young, not to that extent, but both are, Greek gods in that aspect.
Since we didn't call this the Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt Memorial Draft, I'll just go with those two, even though it's a projection and you hope that J.J. Watt stays healthy, but I'm sufficiently influenced by the fact that they now have the 2 highest sack total leaders since 2012 on the same team, and I think the presence of Jones makes it easier for Watt. The presence of Watt could make it easier for Jones.
Agreed, definitely. I think that could be a hell of a tandem. I wouldn't be shocked to see them wrecking havoc and wreaking havoc. Is it wreaking havoc or wrecking havoc?
Reek. It's wreaking.
Yes, right. Well, either way, it's havoc, okay? And
as in your clothes reek of marijuana. That's how it would be used.
Happens at times.
Not that I'm talking about you.
Not lately, but it will be soon. We're almost out of that detox phase. We're going to get back into it here real soon. But I'm with you there. That was one I had written down too. I was kind of hoping you might forget about that, but that's a damn good one. I think that has potential. All right, and my last pick, I'm a little stuck here, because I'm really down to like the 49ers and the Packers. The 49ers, of course, Bosa coming back. They do have Armstead. And they're another team. You can get into some other guys they got there. The Packers, Za'Darius and Preston, or Za'Darius and Rashawn Gary. I'm going to go the 49ers.
Rashawn Gary's ahead of Preston Smith on the depth chart.
I know.
I think Preston Smith's going to get cut.
I think so, too. It was an underwhelming year. He kind of disappeared this year after that first good year. And I'm with you. They got a guy there to replace him. I'm going to go with the 49ers, though, because Nick Bosa – getting hurt early on in the year last year, we know he's a psycho with working out and doing all that. I expect him to be close to 100% to start the year. And then Eric Armstead, hey, sack production, whatever. He's still a force. He's a giant human being who can do everything on the defensive line. So I'll go with those two as my last pick there.
I was going to get sneaky and say Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, but Miller's status is too tenuous.
Yeah,
I was wondering whether you would, but
I
think they're going to cut him.
I think
so.
Even
though he's not due to be a free agent, he's not going to be on the team this year, and maybe it'll be Myles Garrett and Von Miller when we do this draft in August. Because and that's another reason why, if I'm the Cardinals, and maybe they've fully explored the wormhole that would be whether there was someone else out there that they should have waited for. But I think some of these teams were waiting to see what happened with Von Miller, and maybe there's an indication behind the scenes what's going to happen. But between Von Miller and J.J. Watt, which guy would you want when you consider the fact that Von Miller missed all of last year?
Yeah, it's a little scary too. He's not a giant.
Drafted the same year.
Yeah,
drafted the same year.
It's truly an edge guy. That's a close one. It really is. But I guess I'd take J.J. Watt right now just because that's a pretty serious injury and things that, Von Miller's had to deal with. Let alone it seems like there's some off-the-field things that are yet to be figured out here that is interesting. But, yeah, I know,
There's some vague thing
right?
that was referred to the district attorney, and no one will say what it is. And, yeah, I would want to know everything there is to know about that before I do business with Von Miller, just so I know whether or not I'm going to have him on the field.
Out of all the ones we picked, right, like which ones, excites you the most? Like, I'm very excited about the Montez Sweat Chase Young one. Like, that to me can be like one of those where we could look back and be like, holy crap, it's the Eagles in their heyday type pass rush and those type of things. Which one excites you the most?
Well, Sweat's intriguing because there were teams that loved him in the 2019 draft, but there was that weird heart thing that popped up at the combine. Right. And some of these teams is like, sorry, that's enough to be off our board. We're not messing with that, even though we think the player is a stud. And I know there were teams in the first round that felt that way. Washington obviously didn't. They traded back into the round to get him. So I think that's got potential. We didn't mention DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory.
Oh,
Gregory finally got reinstated last year, and he had his moments. The problem is DeMarcus Lawrence has been disappointing since he signed his long-term deal.
That's it. It's been a little underwhelming, and I can't put my name to Randy Gregory quite yet or do that. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, he popped. He definitely did. And they have the potential to be something here going into the year, too, to where you go, ooh, if they, everything aligns right, watch out for them. But, yeah, that's an interesting position in the NFL as pertains to free agency because, of course, JPP and Shaq Barrett would be right up there at the top of the list with what they can do. And I do expect Shaq Barrett to be back with the Bucs, but we don't know that yet.
And, the one team that I tried, I looked, I scanned, the Vikings, known for that defense, known for that pass rush for all those years, with Deleon Hunter missing all of last season. We don't know what his health is. Who knows what that pass rush is going to be in Minnesota.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.